Thanks for joining me again for another Pixie Talks review vlog.
Pixie Talks, reviews and vlogs at Pixie Talks. Pixie Talks, reviews and vlogs at Pixie Talks.
Woo! It's finally here! Been waiting for this one for a little while now. The third installment in the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic spin-off movies is finally here. And although it hasn't had nearly as much hype as with previous installments, it's still one that I have been eagerly anticipating. This is Friendship Games! So this is the third Equestria Girls movie so far, continuing directly after the last one, Rainbow Rocks. Just as was teased by the ending of the previous one, this one heavily focuses on this world's version of Twilight Sparkle and how she becomes caught up in the goings-on at Canterlot High. Given that this parallel universe has a double of each of the main characters from the main show, it was always inevitable that we would eventually see this world's Twilight Sparkle, and she certainly does not disappoint. In this world, Twilight Sparkle is a science nerd student at Canterlot High's rival school, Crystal Prep. The two schools are coming together for their quadrennial Friendship Games tournament, wherein students from both schools compete for prestige and reputation. Crystal Prep has always won, each and every time, but Twilight is more concerned with researching the strange energy anomalies of Canterlot High than she is with victory. Now, I'm going to be totally upfront here. I did not really enjoy this one as much as I had the previous two movies. The first Equestria Girls movie was incredibly surprising, taking everyone completely off guard by just how great it was. And Rainbow Rocks was just as good and happened to be just a whole lot of stuff that I personally fangirl over. This one, in comparison, kind of felt like it fell a little flat. Honestly, it kind of felt like it was just drawing out the Equestria Girls universe just for the sake of doing so, without actually telling a great story. Now, maybe some of the magic is lost because brilliant scriptwriter Megan McCarthy, who wrote the last two, did not work on this one. Instead, we get a script from Josh Haber, and while he has written some solid episodes for the series, I don't think he had quite enough experience to craft the narrative for a movie. Of course, to be fair, Megan McCarthy did leave some pretty big shoes to fill, and unfortunately, the writing just does not feel up to par in this one. What also suffers some is the music. Daniel Ingram did a fine job, but you can tell that the backbone of the music isn't in it. That is, the story doesn't lend itself well to musical numbers, and the characters aren't engaging enough to sustain them. As a result, none of the musical numbers from this one are anywhere near as catchy or memorable as Rainbow Rocks, which I would argue is some of his absolute best work. That said, it is still the ponies that we know and love, and I am always willing to follow them anywhere. When I say it was disappointing, it's really only in direct comparison to the last two movies. For what it was sweet and uplifting and very enjoyable. And it did manage to keep the core of what I love the most about the Equestria Girls movies, and that is that out of all of the high school themed media out there, these movies are some of the only ones that actually feel kind of authentically like my experience with high school. So many high school movies showcase mean girls and popularity politics, losers being given makeovers and desperately wanting to fit in, whatever that means. And honestly, that's always felt a little forced to me because high school, from my experience anyways, was always just about, you know, hanging out with my friends and discovering ourselves and each other. We didn't care what was in, and we didn't worship and idolize some queen bee popular posse. And these movies totally leave all of those annoying tropes behind and let their teenage characters actually feel like authentic teenagers, which I find incredibly refreshing. In the animation department, things are pretty much the same as the previous two, but I am noticing more and more commitment to interesting character designs for background characters, and that is really making me quite happy. There is so much you can artistically do when you have absolutely no restraints on color combination and design, and the background ponies are more and more reflecting that. And of course, it wouldn't be complete without a derpy appearance. Altogether, this one was alright. It wasn't incredible like the other two, but The core of the show, what I fell in love with in the beginning, is still there, and I still really quite enjoyed it. Plus, Science Twilight is probably the cutest flipping thing ever. Oh my gosh! And that's it for my review of Equestria Girls Friendship Game. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do be sure to subscribe for more. You can also add me on Facebook for all of my other updates. And come back later this week for the first of my October Halloween month reviews. Hotel Transylvania 2. See you then. Bye!
Unleash the magic. If we lose, then